สวัสดีค่ะ Welcome to Hot Thai Kitchen. Today I've got another fish recipe for you that, as you'll see, is extremely weeknight friendly. It's something called ปลานึ่งเต้าเจี้ยว Pla is fish,นึ่ง means to steam, and เต้าเจี้ยว is our version of miso. So it's the Thai version of fermented soybean paste, and that flavor goes incredibly well with fish. All right, let's get started. Let's talk fish. So 3 things about the fish. 1, you can use any white, mild flavored fish for this recipe. 2, you can do whole fish steaks like I have here, or fillets. I do prefer whole or steaks because the bones actually help keep everything moist. And finally, 3, I am using black cod, also known as sablefish, because it is a sustainable and local species right here in BC. And just FYI, in Thailand, อันนี้คือปลาหิมะนะคะ Alright, I'm gonna season this fish just a little bit so the flesh itself has some flavor. I've got some soy sauce that I'm just gonna drizzle and just spread it on the fish. This is not necessary, but I find that it does help so that the sauce isn't the only place where there's flavor. Okay, so I'll let that sit and absorb, and meanwhile, let's make the sauce. So let's talk about the star of the show, or the Tao Jiew. So I've got it right here in the bowl. So it does look kind of like a liquidy miso that didn't get mashed quite enough. And miso is a decent substitute. You'll need to thin it out a little bit. It's very salty with a little bit of acidity. The Korean soybean paste will also work. Again, you probably need to thin it out a little bit. The flavor isn't quite exactly the same as miso, but I find that, you know what, it's good enough. I'm going to add a little bit of soy sauce. So I'm using Thai mushroom soy sauce by the same brand. And this is the soy sauce that I use in basically anywhere I use soy sauce. This is the one. Yes, it is the same creepy baby as that one. And I like to use both because I find that Tao Jiew alone, it just doesn't have the kind of complexity that I'm going for. Now, what we have in the bowl right now is very salty. So I really need some sweetness to balance it out. Sugar, which looks like a lot, but trust me, you will need it. And to thin this all out, chicken stock, unsalted. You can also do vegetable stock or just water or fish stock. That's pretty much it. Alright, so I'm going to finish the sauce on the stove now, and in the meantime, I've got my steamer preheating in the back. You want to do these things at the same time so you are efficient. So I've got just a little bit of oil in this pot here. I'm going to turn it on. And right away, I'm going to add some garlic, some chopped garlic. And I never wait for the oil to get hot before I add the garlic because that's how you avoid burning your garlic because your oil's too hot. And I'm also going to add lots and lots of ginger, finely julienne ginger. If you've got people in the house who doesn't like to chew on ginger, what you could do is make big slices and then they can pick it out easily. But I like to actually eat the ginger. Now I'm going to let this saute for about a minute to infuse the flavor into the oil. Oh, that smells so good. And ginger and fish are like a match made in heaven. So now that the garlic is starting to brown just slightly, I'm going to add the sauce that we mixed earlier. I'm going to let that come to a simmer. You want the ginger and the garlic to infuse its flavor into the sauce. And while that's happening, I'm also going to throw in some chilies. Now, you don't have to make this spicy if you're feeding kids or if you don't feel like eating spicy food, but I would recommend in that case adding either white pepper or black pepper, just a little kick of pepperiness. All right, so after it's had just 1 to 2 minutes, I'm going to turn it off, throw in the white part of my green onions, and the green part I have saved for some final garnish. And now that residual heat will slowly infuse the green onion flavor into there, and that is it, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to give this a taste and adjust the seasoning, now is the time to do it. So I've got my steamer boiling and ready to go. I forgot to mention one thing. You might have seen it and wondered what the heck that is. I put lemongrass tops underneath my fish. This is completely optional. I have lemongrass tops in my freezer all the time because I only cook with the bottom half. And it adds additional flavor, but it also lifts the fish up so it heats more evenly all around in the steamer. If you don't have it, don't worry about it, okay? So now, the fish is going to go into the steamer as is. Ooh. For about 7 to 8 minutes for steaks. If you're doing whole fish, it's gonna take 10 to 15 depending on the size of your fish. Off it goes. Ooh, look at that. Ooh. And shout out to my fan in Hawaii who sent me this awesome Hawaiian oven mitts and other goodies. Love it. So as you can see, there's quite a bit of liquid at the bottom of this bowl right now. And I used to just use that as part of the sauce, but I realized that it became harder to control the seasoning of the fish when you don't know how much liquid's gonna be left in there. Just pour it right, without losing the fish, most of it. If you are using black cod, here is a tip. Black cod has a lot of pin bones inside of the fish that is impossible to get out when it's raw, but when it's cooked, you can see them sticking up right there. Okay, so you want to take this time to pull them out so that you'll have less bone navigating to do afterwards. Whoop, and it should just slide out easily if the fish is cooked. Okay, oh, there are still bones in there, so you want to make sure you tell your guests to watch for bones, but for my Asian brothers and sisters, we all grew up eating fish with bones, right? So we know what to do. But if you got guests who are not used to navigating bones, they've got to know. So now the sauce goes right over that fish. Oh, yes. There's actually enough sauce here for 3 pieces of fish, but my pretty plate wasn't big enough for 3, so... And as a final touch, I am just going to add some green onions and red bell pepper juliennes that I have curled in some ice water. And it's super easy. You just cut, shreds, juliennes of green onions like this and soak them in ice water and they curl up. Woohoo! Look how pretty that is! And so easy, so fast, so healthy. This is something you definitely want to have with rice. So make sure you got that ready. Oh, look at that. I just love how flaky black cod is. Make sure you get some sauce on there, some of that ginger. I want to dismantle it and make sure there's no bones in there, first of all. Words cannot describe. This is one of my favorite flavor combination. Fish and Tao Jiew. It's just the right balance of salty, sweet, tons of umami, and that gingery zing. Man, it's so good. You have to give this a try. If you love fish, you have to give this a try. And it's so easy, so there really is no excuse. And the recipe, as always, will be on hotthaikitchen.com. When you make it, send me a photo on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. And if you haven't subscribed to the show, make sure that you do so you don't miss an episode like this. And when you do, click that little bell icon to make sure you get a notification when I post a new recipe. And if you love the show and you want to support us, check out our Patreon link in the description below. And I will see you next time for your next delicious Thai meal. Let's talk fish. 3 things. 1, what was 1 again?